welcome to the Premier League Showdown. Today's a big day in the Premier League. There's so much to talk about. There's so much that hangs in the balance. The Champions League spots. Who's going to make the Europa League? And who's going to get relegated? And today I'm super excited because we have 5 fans from 5 clubs, and we're going to go into all the major talking points of the season prior and what's happening and what's in the balance today. So we have Nikhil, who's an Arsenal fan. What's up, bro? How are you?
Hey, Arman. Yeah, I'm doing good, man.
Good. And we have Arpan, man, supporting Chelsea. How's it going, brother?
Hey man, very nervy day today. Just managed to get some sleep last night, which was quite a miracle. Let's see if I sleep tonight.
And we have Vishnu from United. What's up, brother?
Hey man, I'm pretty good. Feeling the same way as Arpan, I guess. It's a nervy day, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a great time. Prateek from Spurs, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Urban. Thanks a lot.
Of course. And Adoksh, how you doing, brother, from West Ham?
Good to be here. I think it's a safe day for us, so it's better than what we were 3 weeks ago. So looking forward to a peaceful day.
Right. Awesome. So I think let's not wait any longer. Let's get into the talking points. So I want to start with the top 4 race because that is very tight. From out of nowhere, Leicester have dropped a ton of points. We were thinking they're definitely so safe in the top 4. Chelsea have been inconsistent. They've been amazing, and they've also been really poor in a few games. United have been excellent. Not to be biased, I am a United fan. Since the break, Bruno Fernandes has been amazing. But now the last few games, we've seen a steep drop in the form. So I want to start with everyone's thoughts. Just give me a 1 and 2 liner on who you think is going to make the top 4. Nikhil, I want to start with you. Is it Leicester? Is it Chelsea? Or is it United? Who of those 3 are making the top 4?
I think it will be United and Chelsea, respectively, at 3 and 4.
Okay. Prateek, who do you think?
I hope it's Leicester and United, but looking at Leicester and Chelsea, but looking at no wait, I want Chelsea to drop out. Yes, so Leicester and United, and but it looks unlikely considering Leicester's form.
Right. Arpan, what about you?
Yeah, I think if you go by logic and if you look at it, see the thing is Wolves are a great team, but we went away to Wolves and beat them 5-2 earlier this season. Now we're playing at home. Not like it really matters with COVID where you're really playing anymore. But I think I don't see anybody but Chelsea and United go through, but you never know. I mean, keeping in mind how poor defense has been this season, I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea don't do top 4. And with Leicester having all those injuries that they have right now, I think it looks like it's going to be Chelsea and United making it through.
Okay. And Vishnu, 3rd and 4th for you, bro.
Yeah, I think the odds are stacked against Leicester at the moment. They've been having a poor run in form, and they're playing against a hungry United who has been, who's been resurgent since the restart. And Chelsea have been decent in form as well. So just a draw would do it for United. So I'm guessing Chelsea at 3rd and United at 4th.
Cool. And Adoksh, what do you think, bro?
I think Chelsea and United are going to make it. I don't think Leicester, in the form that they've been post Project Restart, have the ability to beat United today. And even a draw is going to take United through to the Champions League slot. So I think it's Chelsea and United.
So I think it's pretty unanimous, other than Prateek, who really just doesn't want Chelsea to make it, that United and Chelsea are going to make the Champions League spots. But I want to get into Chelsea with Arpan. Chelsea have had a very, very up and down season. And with a new manager coming off a transfer window that they couldn't spend anything, and they lost their best player, Eden Hazard. And next year, you're looking really strong because you're bringing in amazing players like Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. I really want to get your thought overall on the season so far, on the up and downs. And then how are you looking forward to next season? And then touch upon how you think Lampard has done.
At the beginning of the season, if somebody asked Chelsea fans that, hey, you know what, in the last game, you'd probably be fighting for top four and you'd make an FA Cup finals and you had an outside chance in the Champions League, I think we would have taken that bargain all along. It's been a season of ups and downs, to be very I think our defensive fragilities is something that has been very unsettling, because if there's something that Chelsea has been best known for, it's always been the fact that they aren't known to concede too many goals. But the fact that this year we've conceded over 50 goals is something that's it's been extremely unsettling, because if also to do with the fact that Kepa has been an absolute disaster of a goalkeeper for us this season, right? So I think keeping these two factors in mind, even though Chelsea is signing a bunch of very good players next season, if we don't fix ourselves at the back and if we don't get a new goalkeeper, it's going to mean very, very little. I don't think moving forward and being offensive has really been the issue for Chelsea this year. I think our young guns have done fairly well. We've created a lot of chances. Mason Mount has been extremely consistent through the course of the season. And while a lot of people are leaving him out of the conversations because of Havertz, Ziyech, and Werner coming in, I think he's been a very important part of our season this year. What's also not worked for us is the fact that Kante has been injured through the course of the season, and he's the engine in our midfield, especially when it comes, to be the man in front of our defense. That's not worked for us either, and that's been a little bit of a disappointment for us. So when it comes to Lampard, I think it's fairly visible that he's an extremely intelligent man. And he's managed to beat everybody in the top six in different competitions through the season. But at the same time, some of his decision-making capabilities is something that needs a bit of questioning. Of course, the lack of experience as a manager isn't really something that's working for him. But at the end of the day, I think he understood the job that he was taking up, because Chelsea is probably the most ruthless club out there when it comes to firing managers. And we've had a history of doing that. Why is it that Pulisic did not start the game against Liverpool is something that came as a shock to a lot of us. And the fact that Kepa has been so inconsistent, I'd totally be okay with him being dropped. If you watch the Liverpool game, he didn't even try to stop those balls from going in. So I think his decision-making capabilities is something that I think a lot of us are questioning as Chelsea fans. At the end of the day, Lampard is our legend, and that's never going to change. But he will need to deliver next season. And for anything below the top two is not something that I think Chelsea fans would really accept, considering the fact that we've really signed a bunch of very, very good players moving forward. And I think Pulisic is going to destroy the league in the coming few seasons. If you look at the statistics of Pulisic and Hazard in their first season, even though Pulisic's mostly come off the bench, the kind of goals that he's scored for the team and the kind of consistency he's had, especially after the break, is something that's been extremely encouraging. So it's funny because everybody wrote Pulisic off in the first half of the season. And his turnaround has been quite phenomenal, So like I'm saying, I think we're really excited for the coming season. But if we don't fix ourselves at the back, it means very, very little to us. And I mean, that's fairly evident by the fact that to be very honest, Manchester City has not been too ahead of us. But the fact that we have defensively been so poor is why it reflects, on the table right now that, this is the particular case. But like I said, at the beginning of the season, if you're asked, I said, hey, you would be in the race for the top four, you're in the FA Cup finals, and the fact that you had an outside chance in the Champions League, I think all of us would have taken that bargain. Losing Hazard is something that I think we had all mentally prepared ourselves for, because, that's a transition that would have happened. I think Liverpool fans will now soon start mentally preparing themselves for the fact that, they'll probably lose Salah. Just before this call, I was reading this article where Salah said he's not committing to a new contract to Liverpool, right? I guess that's a transition for everybody, for all big players in these particular clubs. So yeah, I mean, I think our emphasis now is that still that we also have 3 more games to go in the minimum. So we'll think about the next season next year. But if we don't fix ourselves at the back, we need a brand new goalkeeper, someone who is world class. We've had a history of great goalkeepers in Perisic and Courtois. So there's a very strong tradition for whoever comes in to carry that on. I mean, in the Mourinho 2004-2005 season, we'd given away 15 goals. We are sitting here giving away over 50 goals. This is very, very unlike Chelsea. And I think Chelsea needs to fix themselves at the back for us to have any chances of winning any trophies moving forward.
Which is why I really don't get why, you guys are going after Havertz. Like, you have enough. You have Hudson-Odoi, you have Mount, but why aren't you just focusing everything on the back? You addressed it very well. And I just want to get one more thing from you, Arpan. What's your score prediction tonight against Wolves?
To be very honest, I'm going to leave all my emotions apart, and I see a high-scoring game today. Because Lampard is not known to sitting back and building a defense once he goes 1-0 on top. He's not Jose. He's not a Jose Mourinho. So I think. And Wolves moving forward are a very, very destructive team. So I think a very close game, a 3-2 or a 2-1 is what I'm looking at.
Cool, man. Okay, so to move past Chelsea to the other contender of the top 4 battle, Vishnu and Man United. Bro, again, United have had even more of an up and down season. Started very up, beating Chelsea 4-0, then down with injuries and poor performances. But then Bruno comes in, the lockdown happens, we get Pogba back, Rashford is back, and they go on this amazing unbeaten run. But again, the consistency has dropped. So I want to know, what is your point of view on the top 4, on United's performance this season? And I really want to know, do you think Ollie is the man to bring championships back to Man United?
Yeah, overall, I think we've had our ups and downs this year. Injuries hasn't been helpful for us at all this season. But I feel like Ollie is building a philosophy now that we haven't seen since Ferguson. We haven't seen this sort of era where we've started supporting our academy players, bringing them into the first team, and then them performing at the highest level as well. So I think all the seeds have been planted. It's just about just a matter of time to wait and see how they turn out to be. I think that the loss of Rashford and Pogba early on in the season, and the whole drama about Pogba's manager and stuff like that, has really pulled down the team from where it was and how we started. Then I think we've sort of contained that a bit more, and then the break that we got, which was a really much needed one because we got all our players back. And since then, I think the introduction of Bruno into the side has been phenomenal. He's been a leader from day one. I think he's just starting to command the midfield and attack, where Harry Maguire still stays back in the defense and takes care of that aspect. So his creativity it's brought a new positivity to the United side now, and it's been good to see. But we've also been inconsistent going later on, over the last 2 or 3 weeks because of fatigue. I'm going to say anything else because Ole is sort of mismanaged his side a little bit. He's not trusting his bench as he should be. And I mean, I would agree in a way because we don't have a lot of squad depth as well. We don't have, like Man City or Liverpool. We don't have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We don't have Riyad Mahrez coming off the bench. And we've got, Mata, Jesse Lingard, and all these guys. So I think that's the thing that we got to focus on, maybe get 2 or 3 more world-class players and slot them into the 11, and then push the Freds, the McTominays, and the Matiches back into the bench. So there'll at least be a sort of element of trust for Ollie to build up in the next season going forward. I still think we're maybe a year or 2 away from sort of competing for the title. I think Liverpool and City are still a bit ahead, but since the restart, when we first saw the first few games where we've just been winning everything, I think if we go with that same consistency, that same mentality, and the same urgency to get goals as much as possible and attack, and not just hold back and be lazy around the midfield. So once we get that sorted, and I think that we could be competing in the next couple of years, and I think we'd be seriously boosted by if and when it happens, like seriously boosted by the introduction of Jadon Sancho. So yeah, I think Ollie's doing a pretty good job. This is why it's quite relatable to Chelsea as well. We've got a goalkeeper who's not performing to the highest of standards as well. So that's another question to take. And our defense has also been a bit off, where our midfield and attack have been really strong. So it's quite relatable. And yeah, I hope the philosophy continues, and I hope that we're, cement a place at least in the top 4 next year as well.
So 2 quick questions to close with you, Vishnu. Is Ollie the man for the job? And what's your score prediction tonight against Leicester? Because that really will decide the top 4.
Yeah, Ollie is definitely the man for the job. He's shown a lot more promise than anyone since Ferguson's retired. So I think give him a year or 2 at least. He's building a great philosophy. I think he's bringing in a lot of kids from the academy. He's got a good eye for these guys. Like Mason Greenwood's been phenomenal now, and he's just picked him off the bench and started playing him every game. So definitely, man, Ollie's the man for the job at the moment. And a quick prediction: it's gonna be a high-scoring game. I think Leicester's gonna go all guns blazing as well. So I'm guessing 3-2 to United.
Awesome. And Europa League is next. So I think we're pretty much, on the same page that United and Chelsea are our thought for the Champions League. Europa League is the next big thing. And this is what's kind of interesting about the Premier League this year. We have so many teams that are competing for 1 through 9. I mean, 2 through 9, or even 3 through 9, because Man City and Liverpool have been, head and shoulders apart. But they haven't been good enough to challenge for the top 2. And we're seeing clubs like Arsenal, we're seeing clubs like Tottenham that we thought were definite, ins to the top 4, but they faded away. And then we're seeing people like Wolves come up. We're seeing people like Sheffield United have great seasons. And just to give you guys a little bit of context for everyone who's watching about how the race looks right now, it's a race between either Leicester, Man United, Chelsea for that 5th spot, and then Wolves and Spurs to get that remaining 1/6 spot for the Europa League. And I want to get into everyone's quick thoughts into who's going to make it into the Europa League. So, Nick Hill, I want to start with you, bro. Quickly, who is going to be the 1 that make the Europa League in the final spot?
I think it will be Leicester at 5th. So we have to win the FA Cup to get inside. I think we don't have any other way to get inside. We have to go all guns blazing in the final and hope that they win it. Fingers crossed, yes.
So yeah, that's true.
I'm expecting a Giroud hat-trick in the FA Cup finals. So Nikhil, you need to watch out.
I hope David Luiz scores to settle that.
That's if he doesn't get a red card, yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. And Adox, what do you think, bro? What's your prediction for the last spot?
I think Wolves are going to take this. I think Wolves have had a tremendous season. I know there's no love loss between us and Spurs, so I'd be more than happy to see them drop out and not make it even to the Europa League with their $1 billion stadium. It'll be great to see Wolves make it, and hopefully Spurs don't. That's
Pratik, what's your response to that, bro? He's calling you out.
It's a win-win for us in any case, because I'm personally not a big fan of Europa. So if we get Europa, it's a bit more money, it's a bit more midweek matches to obscure countries, But if we don't have a Europa, we have a clear midweek. We go for the big. We can properly see a proper run-in in the league, because that's what Leicester and Chelsea had over us in the past seasons. So I don't mind, clear run.
Missing out on Europa is not going to hamper either Arsenal or Spurs. I think it will help us in the rebuild, because we are going to be free in the midweek. We can prepare the league well, build the squad, then go out all again. That would be good.
Pratik, just a reminder, Chelsea plays Champions League this season. So it's not like we don't have a midweek. It's just that we play an elite European thing. Not something you guys would know very well what to do in Europe.
Oh, we were there, before Leipzig took us out, and probably Bayern will took you out too soon. So
yeah, that's fine, but we're at least in the competition. So you guys are talking Europa, we aren't.
Hey man, you don't want to speak too soon, man. You don't know what's
Yeah,
gonna happen
dude.
at the end of
Let's
the day
not jinx
today.
it, we have 3 evening matches left.
It's
All right,
fine, man.
boys.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Arpan. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. We did the double over Mourinho, so we're quite happy.
Yeah,
That's not too difficult to do.
We
Okay.
did the double over Chelsea. Just say.
Okay, let's get into the Europa League spots. Pratik, I want to start with you, man. The season, again, like as with Chelsea and United, has been really weird for Spurs. You guys made it to the Champions League final, and boy, has it been a fall from grace. Pochettino had a very poor start to the season. He couldn't get anything going. You lost Eriksen. Harry Kane got injured. You guys fell to like 10th and 11th place at times. And then you bring in Mourinho, and everything's looking amazing. You know, Mourinho's playing positive football. But as Mourinho does, it went back into parking the bus very, very quickly. And even though you guys are winning recently, it still feels like Spurs fans probably aren't happy with the way Spurs are playing. You're not controlling the ball. You're looking regressive. So talk to me about that, Pratik, man. Like, what do you think about Mourinho? Is he the man for the future of Spurs and to bring you guys back into the top four?
This season has been the most topsy-turvy season of all. Among if you look at the consistency we had, and we had a good playing stand under Pochettino, the players, everything was cohesive, and the Champions League final happened, so we were progressing, but the league results were bad, and probably it reached the breaking point with Levy, because he probably thought we can't make top four, then he got rid of Pochettino, which is still a very unpopular decision with everyone here. And he got Mourinho, which was a shock of my life. I couldn't expect Mourinho here, to be honest. Like such a different brand of football from what we were seeing. So he started well. I mean, he got the best out of Ali for the initial games. Then I don't know what happened. In few games we dropped off, especially against the Chelsea game, which is probably the biggest decider for the UCL spot, because they took all the points from us. And if you look at these games, they matter a lot. And I personally think we are not making top four this season because of our results against the team above us. We dropped so many points against United, Chelsea, Liverpool, even Wolves. We lost at home to them. So a lot of games against the team above us went against us. And then the injuries piled up. The injuries piled up like crazy. We were down to the bare bones. No Kane, no Bergwijn, no Son, even like no Sissoko. I mean, the team was on bare bones. That's why we got players like Getson and all. Getson Fernandes, whom nobody knew on loan, because it was like that bad. And we were starting the same players. Ali was playing as a striker. I mean, I can't believe that. So we could have made the top four, because like if we had not had those injuries, we had a very bad spell. We went out of the FA Cup, we went out of the UCL, we lost so many games, so it was a very bad spell. But now after the restart, we have done well. We have got the the best record after the restart. Yes. So I think with a consistent team and with few more players which Mourinho wants, and a fit squad, that is very important, because we had a lot of injuries compared to what like Liverpool. Liverpool have like a perfect three. They always play. I don't know how, no injuries, nothing at all. It's a miracle. Or I don't know what hard work they put in, but that's the scene with us. A lot of injuries, a lot of inconsistencies. So I'm looking forward with Mourinho. I mean, his brand of football is counter-attacking. It's not like on the front foot like what we had with Pochettino. But I'm fine with it as long our team learns how to win, by hook or by crook. That's the most important thing. And I think he's not there for like a long 5 year or 10-year stay. He's there probably for 2-3 years, like how he does with every club. And the reason Levy got him on such a high salary, which is very different from what the Spurs way, it's probably to get the monkey off our back of winning some trophies and getting what the players, probably the last bit of, it's like the seasoning on these players on the dish, if you get the analogy.
Right.
So that's what he is there for. And like probably the Europa League, the domestic cups, it's like a kickstart. That's what happened with clubs like Atletico. They started winning Europa League, and that went into the Copa del Rey, the league, and they were UCL finalists for quite some years. So that's the kickstart in terms of the trophies is what Mourinho is in for.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like for the past few years, I mean, the past few, 10 years of Mourinho, Real Madrid ended shit. Chelsea ended really, really bad. United ended really, really sour. And Spurs, it feels like, he's already said, he's already made Ndombele say, I'm never playing for Spurs again. And he's your top signing. I don't have that
I
much
think
faith in Mourinho.
there was also a rumor that Mourinho says that he needs at least 4 to 5 signings in the summer or he's going to quit. I don't know how true that is.
Dude, if he quits, he's not going to get any top job ever again. I don't know who will hire Jose
Not like
Mourinho.
Spurs
That's
is a
what we
top
say
job,
every
but
time.
yeah.
That's what we say every time. He does this. He takes a job. He's there for 1 year. He fights with the team. He fights with the management. Cashes in on his payout, and he leaves. And then next thing you know, he's at the next big club. So I don't know what.
And he leaves the club in ruins, dude. Every club he leaves is worse off because he came. He does everything so we're still screwed from, Man United, sorry, again biased, from Alexis Sanchez's contract. And that was all Mourinho. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Kevin De Bruyne, Mohamed Salah.
Yeah,
Oh my
Mo
God.
Salah.
Being
Sanchez
critical
played
of
well for Inter
Jose.
though. No clue why.
Sorry, Pratik. I think you're going to have a rough few years ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, Pratik, I think you should mentally prepare yourself for losing players like Son if they don't get along with Mourinho, which is going to
Maybe
be.
even Harry Kane.
I mean, my empathies are with you, man. It's
Yeah.
We feel you, brother. We feel you.
See, we have tried the other route with Pochettino. Okay, so I'm totally fine. I'm mentally prepared. I know we'll win games ugly. I know we won't like the brand of football, and I'm mentally prepared for it. But
I
the thing
think
is,
we are being very critical of Jose. Actually, he has done one season he does well. The next season he's going to flop. So I think he doesn't do it for Spurs. As an Arsenal fan, yeah, definitely. Because if you see at United, he finished second. Then the next season is sacked. Same with Chelsea as well. He won the two. The next season he's going to drop.
The other rumor I've been hearing is that it was Amazon Prime that had Pochettino sacked because that documentary was going to be
Yes.
and who else
Yes.
spiced it up but Mourinho?
yeah. I mean, if
paying that much,
if that's the reason that Pochettino got sacked, then as a Spurs fan, I wouldn't know how to feel.
That's the very weirdest thing I've ever heard, because I'm sure the payoff to Pochettino was definitely more than what Amazon is paying us.
Right. Well, I think let's move off the doom and gloom of Spurs and let's move on to another club that kind of is on the rise, has a very good young manager in Mikel Arteta. Dude, Arsenal, I'm just very confused with the club. You guys have these crazy contracts. You have Ozil on a top contract, doesn't get to play at all. Guendouzi, I don't know where that dude is
I won't
going.
be critical of Matteo Guendouzi, definitely. Like, if it is going to be for the non-negotiables, which Arteta feels that he's not satisfying, then well and good to keep him out and sell him out in the summer. No issues. But with
Right.
Meze, then no comments. He's one of the best creative players we have, and we are not creating enough chances. Definitely through the middle, exactly.
So what's your thought on Arteta so far? He's come in, he doesn't have a squad. He's playing
Exactly.
a bunch of young players. Doesn't look like you guys are going to have that much to spend. You have an Aubameyang problem. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Talk about, firstly, what you think about Arteta as a manager. And was he the right appointment? And how is your, what are you thinking long term? Because you're not making the Europa League, you're not making the Champions League. How is Arsenal looking?
I think from the situation when Unai left was sad indefinitely. So to come into a squad which was completely like distracted, everything, and we didn't have enough quality, definitely, at the time when Unai was there. Did Arteta come in and improve the players we had? Definitely, yes. There is no doubt in it. You can see an example of Mustafi itself, whom I don't rate much, but no one rates, obviously, yes. But still, he has improved tremendously. Xhaka has been doing well. Ceballos has come in. He has done very good. And to come to your point of the young players, like we have, I would say, like we have predominantly played most of the young players of our academy players itself throughout the league campaign due to the injuries or be it for other issues, to the squad issues or whatever. Saka has been tremendous. Willock has been coming in. Even Nketiah has been doing well whenever he's been given chances. And I think we have been doing quite well with the young players. But will they be able to sustain their development and take us to the next level? I don't think so. We'll be able to do it without the experienced players. They are the ones who know how it should be done. We can build the team around them and have some young players who can pitch in every when it's good. So I think Arteta will take at least 2 years to build a squad of his desires and to have a squad which can compete for the title. No, at least for the top four, I think it will take at least one season. We have to see how we do with the transfer window. Again, we have two questions over there. Again, if you have to finish in Europa, you are going to get in some additional money. If not, then it's not looking good for us actually, because with the kind of players we could be linked, but we need to have the money and stuff to get them in. Contract situation again has been like a mix of not good. Again, you can see like Laka is going to get into his last final year, I think, with the next season. Mesut, again, one season, I don't think he's going to play enough until something miraculous happens between him and Arteta. He's not going to start. We should ship him out this summer, but I don't think we'll have enough buyers for him, definitely for that wages.
Yeah.
So we should wait for at least 2 years, I think, for the reinforcements and what Arteta can do. But with the current squad, what Arteta has done is tremendous job, I would say, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I think, to be honest, of all the young managers, Ole, Lampard, and Arteta, I think Arteta is going to be the best one. He learned under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
He has taken this Arsenal team, which really, when I see your starting lineups, I feel so sorry for you. Like, I look at that team and I'm just like, whoa, this is awful. And Saka's a great player, but he's so young, you know, like.
He's just 18.
Exactly. Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson, these guys, they're doing amazing. Eddie Nketiah, but it's I think, it's going to be a rebuild.
I'm in a way happy with the young players which they are performing, but we have to see the long picture. Then with the bigger picture is not going to be that great, because they have to come in and settle. They're around 18 or 19. So by the time they mature as a player, it's going to be 21. Till that time, we cannot keep pitching, starting them in every matches and hope we'll get top four or it will help us out. So I don't think it will help us much, but he needs to be back. Arteta needs to be back by the board. If not, then we are in shambles, definitely.
Arman, but I think a very important factor when it comes to Arsenal, it's the ownership of the club. And the fact that the ownership has absolutely no desire to actually re-strengthen themselves. And I think, so I think that is, I think, a very important factor for Arsenal, because especially with COVID and economies being hit so badly, you don't know which club is going to go out and really spend out there, I mean, the fact that Liverpool themselves decided not to go and sign Timo Werner worked in our advantage. So I think a very important factor for Arsenal is all going to come down to their ownership. And that's I think that's a very important point that we need to talk. And if Arsenal continue to be the way it is, then it's great for Arsenal fan TV and for all the opponent fans to enjoy.
They're going to make a good amount of money.
Don't be so hard on Mustafi, Nikhil. We rate him well. Come on.
I think overall, we have been self-sustainable only. We have never had some reinforcements or whatever, the cash being.
Man, that's such a lazy excuse.
No, I'm saying
that we've been self-sustainable. Any business, irrespective of football, or if it's not football, it doesn't matter what business you are in, you need to invest. That's just how capitalism works. Exactly, and you can't be making excuses saying that we've been self-sustainable.
No, I'm saying
it just shows that your owners have no desire. They're just making money off your club.
No,
it's as simple as that. And I'm sure as a United fan, you would agree with me, Arman, is that you guys have been fighting for new ownership. It's just that you guys are such a behemoth. You're such a big machine. You all don't need your owners to pump in money.
Right.
So I think that.
I don't know about that, Arpan. I think, go ahead, Nikhil. You go first.
Yeah, I didn't quote self-sustainable as an excuse. See, I only quoted it because you brought up that point that owners has to pitch in, which is not going to happen. That's what I meant.
Yeah, and I think with United, and Vishnu can come on top here. dude, United have spent the most out of any club. Like, to be fair, we have the highest revenues, but we've spent so poorly. And now the owners are just like, dude, we've spent almost $1 billion and you expect us to keep going? You know, I think ownership is huge. Vishnu, you can add on top of that.
Yeah, dude. Like I think, especially with how we've dealt with Sanchez and when he's gone to Inter, and we're still paying half his wages and things like that. You know, it really comes down to nitpicking. Like owners got to be on top of things. Like we've got a really terrible person in terms of Ed Woodward, who's been like really mismanaging how transfers in and out go. So yeah, Arsenal, like I feel you guys, man, because like I think your owners are just using your club as an ATM machine at the moment.
I think
One thing I personally find weird about Arsenal right now is like it's not in alignment. Like you say that you need investment, you need a good squad, but then you extend contract for guys like Luis.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
that
not
makes no
it's
sense,
not
man.
congruent.
I
with the
wouldn't.
long-term goals.
I wouldn't disagree
after a
with
red card
the
as well.
contract extension for Lewis, man.
No,
We
but
don't have
you
much
need to
experience.
understand one thing
No,
about
we don't
David
have much
Luiz.
experience.
The
Of
thing with David Luiz is he
defenders
comes
we
with a
have-
lot of experience as a player, right? He's won the Champions League, he's won Europa,
Exactly.
he's played for PSG, and Arsenal is unfortunately a club which doesn't have any leadership on the field, right? I mean, Ozil, who is the highest paid footballer at Arsenal, doesn't even get onto the pitch, right? So I think David Luiz, as much as he's become a bit of a joke in the last few years, he brings a lot of leadership into the squad, which I had seen even with the Chelsea squad. So I completely understand why Arteta has signed him and given him.
But
we have signed him
Arsenal-
only for 1 year again. So of all the defenders we have in our squad, I think he's the most experienced one. He has to stay. No other go for us.
But experience doesn't matter when you're the one making the mistake. Like if you have young kids looking up to him and he's like your captain basically, and he's making the worst mistakes, like that's not someone you want to look
Even
at.
Harry Maguire makes mistakes. No, I don't.
Barely. Not in, like the goals that Man U have conceded like since the break are very low. We've had the most clean sheets since the break. So there are mistakes, obviously. But
You should
Yeah, I don't think Maguire is the best example that you could give. But
I don't think
maybe Virgil van Dijk could have been a perfect example to give, not Maguire.
yeah. Anyways, guys, let's move past Arsenal, and I want to move to another club, West Ham. At the start of the season, Adosh, I literally thought that West Ham did so many good things. You have this new stadium, you brought in Seb Haller, you spent a lot of money, and you had Manuel Pellegrini. If you're talking about experience, you're talking about Real Madrid, you're talking about Man City, you're talking about huge clubs for this manager. And then you sack him, and David Moyes comes in. I don't know how happy you were about that, but they're flying since the restart, and he's got them out of the relegation zone. So, bro, tell me about West Ham's season. What have you made of it? And are you disappointed going into it? Because you must have thought that you guys would have been in the top half of the table.
Oh, definitely. When I think with the signing of Pellegrini, with the amount we spent in the summer transfer window, we bought in Sebastian Haller. We had great players. We had Felipe Anderson. We had Lanzini, who was in good touch. We had Issa Diop, who a lot of managers rated very highly. We had Fabianski, who was a solid goalkeeper. And we definitely were aiming for, if not the Europa League positions, at least for a top 10 finish. And that's, I think, a realistic position on where this team should be if you put it on paper. Things were good till September. I think we were fifth all the way up to the end of September. West Ham then posted this picture of Pellegrini at the wheel and a photo of a bus after we beat Chelsea, I think. And we'd made 17 points from the first 8 games, and then we made 17 points from the remaining 18 games. So that's how much of a drop we saw. And there was no question about keeping Pellegrini. He had lost the trust of the dressing room. We had no leadership on the field. And this is coming from a team which has Mark Noble, who's played 500 games, coming from a team which has Declan Rice, who's picked to be the next big thing in English football. And we had no voice on the field. So Pellegrini had to go. there were a lot of talks about who would come back. We just sacked Moyes to bring Pellegrini in. To go and then to go back to Moyes was a heartbreak.
Crazy.
Yeah, was a
Crazy.
heartbreak because I don't know if Vishnu has a view on Moyes, because I think he's in the best position to comment on him. But I'm particularly not a fan. But he's done what he's been asked to do, and he's done it twice. We when we sacked Slaven Bilic 2 years ago, we bought in Moyes and told him to keep the club up, and he did that. Then we sacked him and bought in Pellegrini, and now we sacked Pellegrini and we've bought back Moyes. So it's a circus the way this club is run sometimes. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of Moyes, but he's done what he's asked to do. So I think it's only fair enough to give him a second shot at a full season.
I think the thing with West Ham was when they had Slaven Bilic, they were playing beautiful football. You know, like you were saying, Felipe Anderson, Lanzini. Then you bring in David Moyes just to save it, because Slaven Bilic was good at his peak. And then you again say, I want to play amazing football, and you bring in these players to suit that, Diop. And then again, it just keeps failing. And my thing with West Ham is they're such a big club in England. They should not be in the bottom half, regularly like they have been. And I remember last season they played United, and you guys absolutely crushed them in terms of football, being on the front foot. It was like, I was like, whoa, this team is amazing. And talk a little bit about Mikel Antonio. How is he just randomly gone from being on the bench and warming the bench every game to scoring 4 in a game and scoring against United?
I think that's why Moyes deserves some credit. He did this the last time around as well. I'm not sure how many of you remember, but Marko Anakovic was not a striker. Yeah. Anakovic was a midfield player when we bought him in from Stoke City, I think. David Moyes converted him into a striker and converted him into a lethal striker. Anakovic's price shot up so much. We sold him for about, £30 million to, I'm not sure of the club in China that he moved to. But Moyes converted a midfielder into a striker the first time with Anakovic, and he's done the same with Antonio. Antonio's got this raw pace and power, which would make him an effective striker, the old English striker as you would know it back in the day. But what he does not have, and what Moyes needs to work on over this summer break, is his finishing ability. Because as many as the goals he's scored since Project Restart, and I think he's the joint highest top scorer since Project Restart, he still missed a lot of easy chances, and that's because he's not an out-and-out striker. He's been put in that position because Seb Haller, to be fair, has been a waste of money for 42 million. Maybe he'll get another season to prove his worth, but when you're paying 42 million, and I hear all kinds of excuses. I hear he had Jovic at his previous club who was providing him support. But at 42 million, you can't just be relying on people around you to give you the perfect ball. You need to be making chances. You need to be holding up play, and you need to be doing everything Antonio is doing. And when you compare Sebastian Haller to Mikel Antonio, who's gone up 7 divisions of English football. We bought him for £7 million. He's played in 7 different leagues in English football. He's just phenomenal in terms of the work rate he's put in. And then you see Sebastian Haller, who's come in for 42 million and just doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, I think Mikel Antonio, he's been great, but his touch is awful. Against United, like his touch is just so bad. Yeah, he's not a striker. That's true. I want to move on to the relegation battle. This is hot right now. There are 3 teams fighting. Well, actually, 3 teams fighting to stay in the Premier League. Norwich are guaranteed out. They've had an awful season. Bournemouth, Watford, and Aston Villa. And just to give you guys context, Aston Villa has 34 points. They're just out of the relegation zone. Watford has 34 points. They're in the relegation zone because of goal difference. And Bournemouth have 31. Now, for me, Bournemouth, I love Eddie Howe. And I don't know how they've gone down so far because they have a decent team. But everything hangs in the balance of Arsenal and West Ham, playing Watford and Aston Villa. So I just want to do a walkthrough of everybody. Who do you guys think are going to get relegated? Arpan, let's start with you, man. Who's going to be out?
I want Aston Villa to stay because, of course, of the John Terry connection. But that apart, I guess, here's what's going to happen. Irrespective of whether Aston Villa stays up or not, I don't think John Terry is going to hold on to his job at Aston Villa. So it doesn't really matter to me. But I don't think the bottom three is going to change. I foresee Watford, Bournemouth, and of course, Norwich is already out. I think that these three guys are going to be out. I was really surprised to see how poor Norwich were this whole season, because they absolutely smashed the second league just the season before, and to see Sheffield United do so well while Norwich at the other end has done so poorly is something that came as a bit of a surprise to me.
They started off really well, right?
Yeah, they started off with Pukki as well.
Timo Pukki, I think, was
scoring freely, and Todd Cantwell as well was having a great start. And then
I don't know what.
I guess it was beginner's luck or whatever you want to call it. I guess I can't make any more sense of what really went down at Norwich. I quite like that club as well. So it's a little disappointing to see them go. I think I'll be a little disappointed. Disappointing to see Watford go as well. Because I think to the run into this particular season, they had a bunch of really, really good seasons. And I think if I'm not wrong, they were even in the top 10, I think, a season or two back. And to see them fall from grace has been a bit of a disappointment. I guess West Ham can thank us that, beating us in 2 games has kept them in the league. And that's at least 170 or to 200 million pounds worth of thing. I guess they got too cocky after they beat us the first time, and then, it is where it is. But I don't see the bottom three change at all. And looking forward to Leeds United next year. I think that's going to be fun. And the new rumors that just came in today that Messi has asked for Bielsa to be signed at Barcelona.
So, I hope that happens, dude. I love Bielsa. And I think he would be great for Barcelona. I just watched the Leeds documentary.
He can't be spying in the Premier League, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine, dude. I love their celebrations. They do this after every goal. It's awesome.
Have you guys watched their thing on Amazon Prime? I think it's a very well-made documentary.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. So I think, we're all excited for Leeds. Vishnu, bro, who's getting relegated next season? Aston Villa, Watford, Bournemouth, and two of the three.
I think Villa's win over Arsenal last week has really put them on the front foot now. I think they'll be safe. I think they're riding with a little bit of confidence. I don't see the top three, the bottom three changing as well. I think Watford's it's harsh on them, but because I feel like they could be, bottom, they could finish 15th, 14th even, but it's just gone for the worst now. So I think it's pretty set who's staying and who's not. I don't see a lot of surprises going in on the final day. So I welcome it if there's anything else.
Yeah, and Prateek, dude, for a bit I was scared you guys were gonna get relegated under Pochettino.
That wasn't the possibility because every time this happens, Levy's like, no, I want my I can't lose the big chunk of money which the PL gives, and he brings in a new manager, and then things rocket up. So, for the bottom three, I don't see things changing too, because Aston Villa somehow got a new lease of life, and the win over Arsenal was good for us. Also, it confirmed that these guys can't finish above us. So, our fan base is celebrating that, and so I think Aston Villa will stay. And it's a shock to see Bournemouth go down. They have a decent squad.
Yeah,
and even Watford, they got the first win over Liverpool of all the clubs, and celebrating all that, and then we see them going down to such an inconsistent and very unpredictable league. What our league is, it shows that. And yes, it will be sad to see a nearby club go in terms of Watford, but can't help it. I'm excited about beasts like Bielsa and Leeds next season. It will be a good coming season. And enjoy Aston Villa. Most likely you're staying up, and enjoying the riches of the league next season.
I personally hope that Aston Villa go down just because I want Jack
Grealish.
Grealish to United, but that's a separate topic. Adoksh, what's your prediction, man? Who's going down?
So let's look at this. Aston Villa is playing West Ham today. I don't see them getting a result because Moyes still has a lot to prove to the fan base. He's not going to put out a light squad over there just because we're safe today. So I don't see Villa getting a result. That means Villa will stay at 34 points with a goal difference of around minus 27 or minus 28. I don't see Watford getting a result against City or Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I don't
Arsenal,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Watford getting a result there. I do see Bournemouth beating Everton, though. Everton have been in terrible form of late. So I would say that Bournemouth will make it to 34 and it will go down to goal difference between Villa and Bournemouth. And I think Bournemouth's going to win this because I see a 1-0 loss to Aston Villa, but I see a 2-0 win to Bournemouth.
Dude, I hope you're right because I love Bournemouth. They're my second favorite team, and Aston Villa.
Yeah, and I don't think
please go
Eddie Howe
down.
deserves to go down. He's been a great manager. He's had a bad season. I don't know if the club's not invested correctly. I haven't followed what's gone wrong with Bournemouth, but they definitely don't deserve to go down. Sure, Watford have been a good club too, but I personally don't. I don't know. I don't have any sort of connection to them or their manager or managers. I don't know how many managers they've gone through just in one season now.
Yeah.
So I think Villa going down, and I think Bournemouth will be safe.
Okay, and to end with you, Nikhil, what is your thoughts, man? Who's staying up? Who's going down? You're on mute, bro. You're on mute.
Yeah, we have to play Watford today. So I think, like, considering the last week's result against Aston Villa, we should be pretty much take out the fatigue factor and go all guns blazing again. That would be the perfect way to prepare for the final as well. But I think it will be Watford will be missing out and Aston Villa getting inside. Bournemouth, actually, I'm not sure with Bournemouth. I cannot make up my mind because I even like Eddie Howe, so I hope he makes it. But Jack Grealish doesn't come to United. Yes.
Yeah, and I think Nathan Ake to Manchester City as well. So.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
I think Ole's had a word with Ake as well, so I think we might be playing him as well.
Yes.
I just wonder, I'm not sure about his contract, but I wonder if Chelsea have a buyback clause with Nathan Ake or not. So that'll be interesting because we need some good defenders and he's also a homegrown product, you know. Yeah. So it'll be easier for Nathan Ake to maybe move back to Chelsea, but I think that's a very outside chance of that happening. So.
I think you guys have first right to bid. So if another club comes in and bid, you guys can bid up. And if you guys don't want to bid, you're out of the race. And Vishnu, dude, I don't know if I came to you on this. I don't think I did. Who are going to miss out on the Premier League?
Oh, no, I did reply.
Okay, I already went to you. I forgot. Yeah. My bad. So any last points, boys, before we finish up, or should we close this up?
Yeah, so I think there's one thing which has been a little unsettling, and this has been for fans across the board. It doesn't matter which club you support, but it's been the role of VAR this season, and yeah, especially. I mean, nobody spoke about how VAR signing of United signing of VAR has really helped them reach where they are. But jokes aside, I think that this is something that needs serious deliberation by the league. You know, because I think I think everybody knows that the refereeing in the Premier League has been piss poor for years together. And they brought in VAR for a reason, but they haven't implemented VAR the way it should have been done. You know, I think the implementation of VAR has been extremely poor. If you just compare it to the way the German league does the implementation of VAR, and they're like far better. And I think this is going to be a very important factor. You know, because I mean, all of us are from India, so we all know how cricket and third umpiring works. And and they've been extremely accurate for years together. And to see what VAR did with the Premier League this year was a bit of a disgrace, So I think that is something that needs a lot of deliberation for the coming years.
I read in some article, like it was saying that FIFA is going to take control of the VAR guidelines and stuff, regulations, because currently it's handled by Premier League. So once it moves over to FIFA, I think it will be unanimous across all countries. It could be better, I think, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know though, but still, like, there's been, I mean, as a United fan, we've been very fortunate with VAR this year, but then there's a lot of like, I mean, there's
very fortunate would be putting it lightly, but yeah.
Yeah, it's putting it very lightly. I think we're in the top 4 race because of VAR, right? We might be paying them more than like Alexis Sanchez. I never know. I don't know.
I think
no, but yeah, like you mentioned as well, like about how it's used in cricket and stuff. Maybe it could be one for the future where captain's role comes in a bit more. Like you get to challenge a decision, and you get like maybe 1 or 2 challenges a match.
Yeah.
So instead of crowding the referee after every like decision, if the referee wants to take the VAR, they can take the VAR. But like if they're not taking the VAR, the captains have like maybe 1 or 2 challenges, which would be kind of cool. But yeah, it still needs a lot of development. I think it's here to stay now. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know how FIFA is going to handle it, and if it's unanimous around all the leagues and all the clubs, then I think it might be a bit of an improvement. But at the moment, like in the Serie A, like VAR is just atrocious. It's all over the place, and yeah, it really needs a lot more development, a lot more fine tuning than it is this year. And yeah, hopefully it changes for the best, because it's like the major talking point this year, because like a lot of games have been won and lost just because of a VAR error.
Yeah,
and I think in the Premier League, I don't think the referees have access to the screen where they can have a look and take a decision by themselves. I think the German league gives that option.
No, we have.
I may be completely wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, Adox, go ahead. I know you're going to say they do have access. They just don't do it.
They choose to do it. Yeah, they do have access. I think
go ahead, Adox.
Sorry, the one. I mean, with all the qualms that we've had with VAR, I think the biggest one I've had, both personally from a West Ham perspective and from, I think most clubs have faced it as well, is that unintentional handball rule that they have. That's an absolute disaster. You can't say that there was an unintentional handball 3 steps behind in the build up to the goal and then rule out the goal.
And Pogba against West Ham, right?
Yeah. It's happened so many times, and we've lost so many points because of that. And I'm sure a lot of teams have faced this issue as well. They're inconsistent with that rule, and I don't think it has a place in football, because someone's hit a ball to, say, Antonio's hand. Antonio has got nothing to do with it. He's scored a goal 8 seconds later, 9 seconds later, and that handball had nothing to do with the goal, and you're still going to rule it out. It just makes no sense.
Yeah. And my favorite ruling of VAR is when Son got a red card for hitting Azpilicueta, but then Harry Maguire did the exact same thing the next day. Nothing happened. All hail.
Yeah, Harry Maguire's boot on Batshuayi was an absolute easy. I mean, it's a red card any day of the
for sure.
thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because and all these things are actually not title deciders, but I don't think we'd be discussing top 4 right now.
Yes.
And yeah, well, I guess it is what it is. So I just hope that the league does something about it and fixes these issues. So.
There's a very small margins which play into the game and into the table at the end of the season. That small defining things. Like I remember our game against Leicester, we were 1-0 ahead, and the VAR overturned the second goal because of like inches offside on Son. We could have probably gone ahead and won that game 2-0, 3-0 something. We lost that game, and that started a downward trend for Pochettino. Like it's like the small thing which matter a lot. And personally, for the handball thing, I am like, okay, it's either a yes or a no. If a handball is there, intentional, not there, it is at least it's objective, okay.
Yeah.
But the problem with VAR, personally for me, it's taking the joy out of football now, and I can't celebrate goals anymore. I have to wait. Okay, VAR is ruling it out or in, and then I wait. It's personally, I wish it was never there, because I don't care even if we like lose because of a odd bad decision and all. but at least I can, celebrate or I can be disappointed. And I'm waiting to be celebrating and disappointed. That is very sad. Very, very different from what all the previous seasons as a football fan.
Yeah, and get faster, and I think it'll get better for sure as technology improves. But I think that's a good place to wrap up, everybody. Thank you, Arpan, Pratik, Atoksh, Vishnu, Nikhil. I really enjoyed this. And over to you, Vinay, to close up.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think it was a great celebration of the Premier League and especially the fans from Indian clubs, right? Nikhil from Arsenal, Pratik from Spurs, Arpan from Chelsea, Alok from West Ham, Vishnu from Man United. A special thanks to Arman and Abhijit for bringing this together, right? And it's great to go through the things around the race for the top four who will make the Europa League spot, the relegation battle. There's something here I want to share more about. So we're part of a group called Crowd Product, and we ran a campaign called Support Indian Football a couple of years ago. If you remember, Sunil Chhetri wanted sports fans to come and support the Indian football team, come to the stadium, and all of that, right? The last few months, things have changed quite a bit with COVID, right? Nobody is asking you to go to the stadium anymore. But what we managed to do now is we're going to be having something called an e-summit. We're getting all the stakeholders in football together. This is the beginning of many such activities. And we want it to be like grassroots driven. So anybody who's passionate, who's interested in supporting Indian football can take the leadership. So I'll just quickly share my screen and show a bit of what the event is going to be about. Just give me a second. Yeah. So we're getting a lot of leaders in the football space. The India's sports minister, Sunil Chhetri, the president of AIFF, AFC. Then a lot of well-known names if you look around, right? In women's football, in the various clubs, a host of media personalities, people from the Express, the Times of India, the Hindu, all of that. To be part of something called eSummit, which is happening on Monday, August 3rd, all day. And in the run-up to it, we thought we'd have some quiz, some engagements, and we want to see if more people can be part of it through fan engagement, through shares, through quizzes, through takeaways. So one of you, and we can see how we could also take Indian football forward along with our excitement for Premier League. Right? Thank you all again. I would hand it over to Arman.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that's a great place to wrap up, Vinay. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for being a part of this. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
See you. Nice seeing you guys. Bye.